I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. Right now, I am in 2 Samuel. This is chapter 21. These are the last years of David's life. He has destroyed his salvation with his murder of Uriah, and ever since then the kingdom has just been almost in constant war, constant turmoil, rebellion after rebellion, and David has been making blunder after blunder in his administration. So let us continue here for chapter 21. The Lord sends a famine. David understands that it is because Saul smote the Gibeonites, contrary to the oath of Israel. David delivers up 7 sons of Saul to be hanged by the Gibeonites. Israel and the Philistines continue their wars. Okay, this is an odd one. Then there was a famine in the days of David 3 years, year after year, and David inquired of the Lord, and the Lord answered, "It is for Saul, and for his bloody house, because he slew the Gibeonites." And the king called the Gibeonites and said unto them, now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel, but of the remnant of the Amorites, and the children of Israel had sworn unto them, and Saul sought to slay them in his zeal to the children of Israel and Judah. Wherefore David said unto the Gibeonites, What shall I do for you? And wherewith shall I make the atonement, that ye may bless the inheritance of the Lord? Okay, so this goes back to the book of Joshua, when Israel first came into the land of Canaan. If you recall, there was the one city, Gibeah, that kind of tricked Israel. They dressed themselves all up as travelers and said they were come from a distant land and they weren't part of the peoples of this land. And they tricked Israel into making an alliance with them. And as part of that, they had got the blessing that Israel would never go to war with them. Now Saul, in his early years, was very zealous for the Lord, and he wanted to drive out all the non-Israelites, and he broke that oath. He tried to kill the Gibeonites. Recall that Saul's home base, his palace, his capital, was Gibeon, because he was a Benjamite, and Gibeon is in Benjamin. So he drove them out. He attacked them, which was contrary to the oath. But it seems odd to me that God would send a famine almost 70 years later. Well, maybe not, about 50 years later. But it just seems a little odd to me. Verse 4, And the Gibeonites said unto him, We will have no silver nor gold of Saul, nor of his house, neither for us shalt thou kill any man in Israel. And he said, What ye shall say, that will I do for you. And they answered the king, The man that consumed us, and that devised against us, that we should be destroyed from remaining in any of the coasts of Israel, let 7 men of his sons be delivered unto us, and we will hang them up unto the Lord in Gibeah of Saul, whom the Lord did choose. And the king said, I will give them. But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because of the Lord's oath that was between them, between David and Jonathan, the son of Saul. But the king took the 2 sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Ai, whom she bare unto Saul, Armoni and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul, whom she brought up for Adriel, the son of Barzillai, the Meholathite. And he delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them in the hill before the Lord. And they fell all 7 together, and were put to death in the days of harvest, in the first days, in the beginning of the barley harvest. Now, I can't imagine that this is actually what God wanted. Now maybe, as he says, he inquired of God, and the Lord told him that the famine was because of Saul. Now that's very possible. I still think it's a little bit late, but it's possible. But he doesn't ask God how to lift the famine. He just asks what the cause is, and then he goes to Gibeah and he says, what should I do? And they demand basically human sacrifice. And David complies. That there's no way God approved that. And it doesn't say that God commanded David to do this. So once again, we see David, he doesn't have the Spirit of the Lord with him anymore. He doesn't have revelation, really. At least not commonly. And so he acts on his own. And when he is on his own, when he's doing things on his own wisdom, he doesn't do very good. Now it's also, I will say that where it says here, the sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul, it is unlikely that this is the same Michal that David married. It's probably not. It's probably got the names confused. I can't remember what the other daughter's name was. Michal was the younger daughter, and then there was an older daughter. Now Rizpah is also a daughter of Saul that was born to a different wife. And so her 2 sons are taken, and the 5 sons of Michal, or I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, but so they're all executed. Verse 10. And Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth and spread it for her upon the rock, from the beginning of harvest until water dropped upon them out of heaven, and suffered neither the birds of the air to rest upon them by day, nor the beasts of the field by night. And it was told David what Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, the concubine of Saul, had done. In other words, they didn't just hang the bodies, they hung them, which was a very shameful death, ignoble death. And then they just left the bodies on the rocks. They didn't bury them. And they killed them at the beginning of the barley harvest. And it wasn't until after the harvest, we're talking probably a month or so. And Rizpah stayed on the rock with them and chased all the animals away so that the bodies were not being desecrated. Verse 12. And David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son from the men of Jabesh Gilead, which had stolen them from the street of Bethshan, where the Philistines had hanged them when the Philistines had slain Saul in Gilboa. And he brought up from thence the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son, and they gathered the bones of them that were hanged. And the bones of Saul and Jonathan his son buried they in the country of Benjamin, in Zelah, in the sepulchre of Kish his father, and they performed all that the king commanded. And after that God was entreated for the land. So they not only take the bodies of these 7 men. David says, okay, it's been long enough. Take them and bury them. But he also brings what's left of the bodies of Saul and Jonathan and buries them with their family. Finally, this is like 40 years since they died almost. So it's only after that God says, okay, fine, we'll end the famine. Now again, I don't think God wanted David to kill these men. And when he did, God said, you got to do right by these guys. And when finally they bury him, God says, okay. But I think we are seeing David's downfall was not just spiritually. Well, it was spiritually, but because he lost the Spirit, he fell into darkness and could not manage the affairs of the kingdom properly. But anyways, verse 15. Moreover, the Philistines had yet war again with Israel, and David went down, and his servants with him, and fought against the Philistines, and David waxed faint. And Ishbi-Benob, which was of the sons of the giant, the weight of whose spear weighed 300 shekels of brass in weight, he being girded with a new sword, thought to have slain David. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, succored him, and smote the Philistine, and killed him. Then the men of David sware unto him, saying, Thou shalt go no more out with us to battle, that thou quench not the light of Israel. And it came to pass after this, that there was again a battle with the Philistines at Gob. Then Sibbecai, the Hushathite, slew Saph, which was of the sons of the giant. And there was again a battle in Gob and with the Philistines, where Elhanan, the son of Jaare-Oregim, a Bethlehemite, slew the brother of Goliath the Gittite, the staff of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. And there was yet a battle in Gath, where was a man of great stature, that had on every hand 6 fingers, and on every foot 6 toes, 24 in number. And he also was born to the giant. And when he defied Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shimei, the brother of David, slew him. These 4 were born to the giant in Gath, and fell by the hand of David, and by the hand of his servants. Well, this is an interesting little war with the Philistines. Remember, the Philistines, what is this, like 60 years earlier? No, probably about 50 years earlier again. Or 55, or anyways. The Philistines had sent Goliath out as their champion. And it seems that they tried again. They had these 4 sons of the giant. Ishbi-Benob, who was killed by Abishai. And then you have Saph. And then you have the brother of Goliath. And then you have the 4th guy, has 6 fingers and 6 toes on each hand and foot. They're all said to be the sons of the giant. Now, if he's the brother of Goliath, then would they all be the brothers of Goliath? Why are they all just... There's one that's called the brother of Goliath. The other 3 are called the son of the giant. And then they are all said to be the sons of the giant. So, the exact familial relationships there are a little hard to figure out. But they all come out of... It is important to note that David did fight against the first of these giants. But he was unable to defeat him. And again, he defeated Goliath when he was a young man, probably in his mid to late teens at the time. And he did it with a sling. Now he's a hardened warrior, but he's old. He's probably in his late 60s now. We know he dies when he's 70. Probably in his late 60s. And he no longer has the Lord with him. When he fought Goliath, the Lord was there. The Lord blessed him. The Lord upheld him. The Lord made sure that sling, that made sure the stone flew true. But the Lord's not with him anymore. And he faints. He can't stand against the giant. And he is rescued by his nephew Abishai. It was Abishai, right? Yeah. Yeah. He's rescued by Abishai. And after that, the people say, no, you can't go out. You're too old to be fighting. You got to stay here. Because if you died in battle, that would be the end of Israel. You've got to stay and maintain the kingdom. So it's very interesting. But we'll leave that here and pick it up in the next one.